To critical fumble or not to critical fumble? That is the question of today. The answer is maybe. Critical fumbling is something that I have always loved the idea of, but causes more problems than not in the greater scheme of things. So let's take a look at why we should or should not critical fumble. And you, as the dungeon master and players, have to decide if it's right for your table. Number one, do the players want to have critical fumble? Ooh, asking the players what they want on my table. Oh my God, we should do that. Always. Remember, your players are the ones playing the game. As a dungeon master, critical fumbling has very little effect on you as the dungeon master. If a mob dies, great. You can throw another mob at them. If a mob misses, you can add 20 more hit points. Should you? No, maybe not, but you can. As a dungeon master, any result can be tweaked, tailored, designed, doctored, changed for whatever reason you want. Good or bad, that's up to you. Now, as a player, should we do critical fumbles? Depends on the table. Depends on how bad critical fumbles are. There's something about being a rogue, coming up and going to stab someone and missing and stabbing yourself in the thigh. It can be funny. It can be an amazing role-playing experience. A critical fumble while stealthing, causing you to fumble over and knock over an entire suit of armor. That can be funny, and it can relate to some amazing role-play experiences. At the same time, when you do critical fumble and all of a sudden you hit your wizard with an axe and you roll to hit and then you crit the hit and then he takes 2d12 plus 6 points of damage and you kill the wizard and you do double his amount of health so he doesn't even get the save, that's when critical fumbling becomes a problem. Or if you get critically hit and then you have a critical fumble on your death saving throw so you are stuck with a permanent injury. Remember, critical fumbles are about being on a spectrum here, is that there is a too much. There is a where it becomes unfun. We play role-playing games to escape reality, and a lot of things that we are dealing with, we don't want to deal with inside of a game. They can force people into situations that they don't want to role-play, they don't want to be part of. And so as a dungeon master, it's not about being PC or not, it's about fun. Critical fumbles can be fun if the players like it, if they like challenges posed by those critical fumbles, depending on the scale of bad, right? Some critical fumbles are you fall on your face and they see you. Some critical fumbles are you stab yourself in the throat and can't speak anymore. There's a level of critical fumbles that just leave room for interpretation. I've got no better way to say it than that because I can go over 15 different critical fumble tables and they're ranging from the minuscule to the mountainous. And so you have to decide that. It has to be something that your table decides upon. And now I've said critical fumble about 1,000 times, and I've said your table has to decide 1,000 times. But why is that? Well, we all have a different reason we play TTRPGs. We're all playing different games. Some of us are playing gritty games like the games at my table. Some of us play whimsical games like at my daughter's table. Because those tables are different, there is no right answer. Now, what I do like about critical fumbles, it adds a nuance to that one roll. When we roll a 20, what happens to the table? Huzzah! Yeah! Kill it! Well, whatever. Oh, we succeeded! I seduced the dragon! Yes, I know you can't critical hit on a skill check on my table, but a critical fail can lead to some amazing theatrics. One of my favorite critical fumbles ever was actually an attack. There was a warrior who was attacking a wizard, and I was a ranger, and I critical failed, and I hit my fighter right in the back. Now, the DM did not have us roll damage. The arrow plinked off of him and gave the creature that was attacking him advantage on their next roll because he was distracted because I hit him in the back of the head. And because of that, yes, my critical fumble did cause a funny thing, and then the BBEG swung twice and missed. It was funny because of the scenario, and the player didn't die. Now, if that critical fumble would have led to that character's death because of that fumble, we may have had a different idea behind this, a different theory behind it. We may feel differently about critical fumbles. So really all I'm saying is when it comes to critical fumbles, you need to be careful as a dungeon master of when to use them and when not. Critical hit tables, critical success tables, and varying degrees of critical success and cool things that can happen both on magic and physicality and skills, that always has an upside. That has hero, that has excitement, that has celebration, that has success written all over it. But when you have critical fumble tables, if your players are rolling badly, it just creates that spiral of despair that players don't like to have, including yours truly. So in the end, Just watch how you use critical fumbles. I'm not going to tell you not to use them. I'm going to tell you to be careful. Make sure your players are on board. Make sure the critical fumbles aren't overwhelmingly negative, and there can be some positivity in there. So just remember that, guys. And as always, thank you for tuning in. If you like the channel, you like the advice, make sure you subscribe, and stick around because I got a message about Hero Soul. We're going to be making D&D free and creating a community where you get to help design the game. So we will see you as always, next time. Welcome to Hero Soul. So what is Hero Soul? Hero Soul is a free version of D&D based upon the Creative Commons license that WotC actually gave to us. I was waiting for someone to come out with a free version of D&D or an alternative, and instead what I've got is a lot of very different games, a lot of very cool games when the whole OGL debacle, and WotC doing stupid stuff all the time, creating all sorts of calamity. I wanted to play Dungeons & Dragons, but I was tired of supporting WotC. So what have I done? I'm creating Hero Soul. We have a Patreon. Join our Patreon and be part of the process of the creation of this game. I'm not going to post a ton of stuff here on the YouTube channel about Hero Soul. I'm not. But what I am going to do is post a whole bunch of it on our Patreon. If you're a free member, be part of it. You will have access to Hero Soul. You'll get the PDFs as they're updated, as they get posted. You'll also have access to everything else. If you're a paid member, you're going to get behind the scenes videos and all that kind of stuff. The bottom line is, if you want a free version of Dungeons & Dragons that you can download for free, join Hero Soul and be part of the conversation. Don't like something that's in the rules? Speak your mind and let's have a conversation and see if we should change it or not. And in the end, you will download the free version of the PDF. And we're talking about a free, full version with monsters, new lore, new races, new ways of doing things, but all based upon the Creative Commons license. You can take Hero Soul and smack it right dab in 5th edition, and it will function just fine. So join us with our Patreon and Hero Soul, and let your voice be heard in the creation. This is not a Kickstarter. I don't care. We will eventually have a printed book. We'll get there. But as a community, let's create this game together. Join us and let's start our journey with Hero Soul. I need some help. I'm by myself. I need people to do Discord. I need people to do all that kind of stuff. But right now, I swear to God, I just saw something behind that tree as it's getting dark out here. So I'm going to leave. Join us at the Patreon. Let's do some Hero Soul development. And let's have a free version of Dungeons & Dragons, which is owned by the community. See you then. As always, next time. Yay!